Welcome to Dino Loves Podcast. I'm your host, Bultum, and I'm thrilled you're back for another episode. Today, we're going to Australia, and we're just traveling on the other side of the world. It's going to be great. And we have someone very special from Australia, and we're thrilled that she's right here today. How are you, Emilia?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks, Bolton. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing during this pandemic?
It's good. It's going. Just keeping safe. Trying to minimize minimize risk as much as possible. Gotten triple vaxxed. Just trying to keep as safe as possible, and as I hope you are, and as I hope everyone is. So yeah.
Yeah, probably he would like promote this about getting your vaccines.
Yeah. yeah, because Bob West did a thing, did a little thing where he kind of, on his Facebook page he posted a photo of himself and it's going, do it for Barney. If no one else,
just do it for Barney.
Gotta keep safe.
Speaking of Barney, how were you introduced to Barney as a child?
Okay, so it's because my history with Barney is quite complicated. But when I was, I want to say 2, I had mum got me my mum got me all these videotapes of Barney. So the ones that came out during, I think it was 1996, things like Fun and Games, Once Upon a Time, Adventure Bus, or that was a bit like Sensation, that batch of videos.
Yeah.
And I watched them endlessly. Like I was obsessed. And it was they were kind of among my roster of things I used to watch, like Sesame Street and the Little Mermaid, because that was a cartoon, and all these other things. So it was constantly on rotation with those other things, and I was just like absolutely obsessed, and I loved it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite Barney home video?
That's a really good question. I think as a kid it was definitely Adventure Bus, because I just love when Barney going to different places and doing different things with the kids. Yeah, I'm a real sucker for that and 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons. Ooh. Those are probably my 2 favorites, because Barney gets to do so much and the kids get to do so much, and they're not just in one place. They're going to different places and doing different things, which I found really fun as a kid and really interesting. So and
yeah, like I understand. Like when I was watching those videos, it was nice to see that Barney's like out of like his universe from like the TV show. Like he can actually go to the real world. Like Barney's Great Adventure, that was a very good example. He can be in the real world. Like he can do anything.
Yeah. Actually, it's really funny because I actually did go and see Barney's Great Adventure when I was a kid. I actually did go see it, but I don't remember seeing the whole movie. I think what must have happened is that I went and I was so freaked out at seeing Barney on the big screen that we left about a few minutes in, and I was just so freaked out at seeing, and I don't remember seeing the whole movie. I only saw the whole movie, I think, for the first time. I think it was early last year. So I never got to see Twinken. I never got to see that because I was just so freaked out at the prospect of seeing Barney on the big screen.
Yeah, bigger the screen, bigger Barney is.
And he's already pretty big to start with. He's like he's over 6 foot.
Yeah,
nearly 7 foot, I think.
Do you have a favorite Barney song?
That's another really good question. I think Just Imagine is a really good one.
Yeah.
But I'm really into the high energy ones, like Mr. Knickerbocker and things like that. The way Mr. Knickerbocker kind of goes off in a theater.
Yeah.
It's like, because
It's
I
very
watched,
big. Yeah.
yeah, Barney in concert when they went introducing Baby Bop, and it's just like, yes, this is a banger. I can get into this.
Yeah.
So it really lands. It really does land, and it's great for kids. If it's great for someone who's pushing 30, it absolutely goes hard for the under 5 set.
Yeah. Have you ever got the chance to meet Barney at all?
Never. We never really had those meet and greet opportunities in Australia. We never did. Like, it's really funny because I remember meeting, Giant Miffy and
Yeah.
all of those characters, but never Barney. I've never been to, the US, so I never got to go to. So I never got to go to the Universal Studios Day in the Park attraction.
Yeah.
I never got to see Barney there, and it's quite sad because a lot of a Day in the Park meant a lot of things to a lot of people. And when it closed, there was a lot of grief. It was kind of like someone had died, and in a sense it kind of was, because that interaction was kind of just taken away, and it's just sad that it went, and a lot of people can't meet Barney anymore. But the good thing about that is, it's not really a good thing, but the thing about that is that it kind of, if the thing about Barney is that if he's not there in a physical sense, then he exists here in your imagination. So it's he's always with you, regardless of whether he's actually there or not. So
yeah, after a 25-year run at Universal Studios, that must be a big success to Mattel and Universal Studios and to the franchise. It stayed there up to like season 3 of Barney and Friends, and then like 10 years after Barney went on hiatus.
Yeah,
it's amazing that it was still there.
It's so weird. It's so weird because, when you think about it, it was only A Day in the Park was only that, Barney. What I mean to say is Barney was only running for maybe a third of A Day in the Park's existence.
Yeah.
So that's a fair chunk of the attraction, existing, that Barney wasn't even really a thing. Yeah. Oh, actually, probably my maths is off. Maybe 2/3, but still. This is a problem. I teach maths for a living. It's different when you actually have to do it on the fly.
Right.
But no, it's still a fair chunk of time, that Barney was off the air, and when it was still going, and people were still going, and crowding that little theater, and it's just like he's got appeal, that our purple friend. He's got lots of appeal.
is what amazing me about at the Universal attractions, people who grew up with Barney actually got to meet him when they're all grown up, they have kids on their own, and they're showing what they used to watch, and it's probably a great feeling to show your kids what you loved when you were a child.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm not planning on having children of my own, but I think if I did, absolutely, I would have introduced them to Barney, absolutely, because I think also Barney's reputation, particularly in the past, I want to say 10 years, Or from what I've seen, because I'm still relatively new to this fandom, so correct me if I'm wrong. But I remember being in high school and people not really, paying any mind to Barney as such. He was kind of, they weren't talking about him negatively anymore.
Right.
They weren't talking about him negatively in that way, and then people kind of just had moved on from that. And by the time I think now that kind of indifference has been replaced by nostalgia. And people were like, oh, actually, we used to rag on this when we were kids, but actually it wasn't so bad. And it was definitely the case for me, because when I was 6, that's when I stopped watching, and the tapes and stuff, and because a lot of adults in our lives were spewing lies about Barney, and I internalized those lies. And about how it was bad for kids, and it was the lesser of the two shows between that and Sesame Street. And it was it was bad and it was dangerous. It's just like this moral panic over Barney's very existence is kind of hilarious, but also kind of scary. I felt like it just existed for no reason. And then
I think it was like probably the big reason why everyone was hating Barney, because they wanted the way how Sesame Street was doing with their show, they wanted to connect with adults and children at the same time, but with Barney it was always just children.
Absolutely. And I think it's kind of like it was that sense of adults being entitled. And also I think a lot of it, Barney debuted at a time where most of the culture was being decided by Generation X, and the mood of Generation X was very cynical and very downbeat and very we don't like anything that's cute and cute and cuddly, and it was the tail end of the Cold War, and that was still in their minds. And it was kind of like, as soon as Barney came out, this kind of, well, from what I've seen anyway, this wholesome cuddly character, it's just like, let's throw rocks at it, proverbially, metaphorically. Kind of what happened with Elmo on Sesame Street, like when he popped up and he was he was kind of like this really wholesome character, and everyone was just like, we don't like you, you're annoying. So poor Barney had to suffer for because of the cultural zeitgeist at the time. So
and with that, there's a Barney documentary that's releasing this year. What are your expectations on that, and are you excited to see it?
Yes. Look, I'm eager for everything. Actually, I was thinking when I first looked up Barney again a couple of years ago amidst the COVID lockdowns, I was thinking, okay, there was this, Barney was a huge phenomenon. Why is there no documentary? And then 18 months later, a documentary was announced, and I'm like, okay, I manifested this into existence. No, I'm joking. I didn't manifest this into existence. But it's great that it's finally getting the recognition for the cultural power that it was and still is. But I'm eager to see everything. There's no specific thing that I want to see more than others, because it's just such a fascinating cultural object, if you could say something like that. But also, more Bob West wouldn't go astray, but I'm biased. But no, it's going to be so fun, watching all the cast and the crew and the detractors, just kind of speak their piece on what made Barney.
What am I expecting to see is probably some of the bloopers on set. Because we've seen a few of those, I think season 6 of Barney and Friends. There was some jokes that Bob took it up a notch.
Yeah.
Like I think one of the home videos, like Bob and David Joyner were like purse snatchers.
Yeah, I think that was Walk Around the Block.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but it's just it's kind of amazing just how so in sync that they were. Even like, because like, you know, David snatches the purse and then Bob goes, you know, purse snatching, and it's just like they're so good at just syncing up and really making Barney come to life. And it really, after seeing those bloopers, you know, the one where you know, like Bob kind of slows Barney's voice right down, makes it sound slow motion, and David Joyner does the actions, and the kids actually, you know, feed off of that and they slow down. It's just like everyone, the whole cast was completely in sync, and with the kid cast, and just incredible, just an incredible, that it was magic. It was a magic thing to watch. Even watching the bloopers solidifies that, you know.
Yeah. As you probably may know, it was like back in 2002, the TV show was rebooted with a new cast, new set, new everything, with a new company, Hit Entertainment. What were your thoughts of like that sort of production after Bob West's retirement?
The thing is that the only bits I've seen from that whole era were when I was 8 and I used to flip through, you know, the 8 or 9, and I used to flip through channels of a morning, and I would see, actually that was the first place I saw Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato, and I didn't know it. Yeah, I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know they were going to end up being global superstars and way bigger than what Barney at some point. But anyway, but I haven't seen enough to make a proper judgment, because in my opinion, I don't want to base my opinion on something baseless. You know, an opinion that's I don't want to form baseless on an opinion on something I haven't really seen. But it's like, in my opinion, Dean Went's portrayal of Barney, Kerry Stinson did a fantastic job from what I've seen as the body performer, but Dean Went's performance was so radically different. And he portrayed Barney as, I'm not sure if this was intentional or not, way more mature and more of, I guess, from what I've seen, more of I guess a mentor than someone who plays with the kids, because of, you know, his voice was a bit lower. You know, he was this is from what I've seen. I could be talking total baseless stuff, but anyway, but his voice was a little bit deeper, and the cadence was a little bit slower, and it was just like if you grew up with that Barney, and obviously Dean Went's portrayal is special to you. I think that's wonderful, and I think that it's wonderful that Dean Went's Barney was able to touch so many kids, and that, and also I thought that the park looked nice. I like the caboose. I like the caboose. I like what they did with the big caboose. I thought that was really, and I thought it was smart that they had that private setting with that public space. I think that was a really smart idea to combine those two, because they could have scenes inside, like the treehouse, and they can have scenes outside, and the kids could just run outside and we're playing now. So that's my thoughts on from what I've seen of the hit version of Barney.
I think with the caboose set, I think it was when they were building the set, I think the caboose idea was Cheryl Leach's idea. It's like, it was nice to see the creator of Barney to still be like a consultant of the new sets.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think if anyone should really have a hand in anything to do with Barney's development, it should be her. It should be her. It shouldn't really be anyone else, because she had the original idea, and she
Yeah.
knows exactly what to do with she knows who the target audience is. She knows what the educational goals are. She wrote the manual, so if anything, she should be consulted for if for any future Barney projects. They should anyone who's on the production team should be consulting her, because she wrote the book. So, go talk to her.
What are your thoughts on Riff?
Oh, I haven't seen much. I did see him in I forgot the name of that's the one where they go to the fair. It wasn't really, it was a county fair or something like that.
Yeah, it was like
and I think
Barney's Let's Make Music.
Yeah, I think that was the one where he got introduced. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I've only really seen him in that because me and some friends were watching it together as sort of like a watch party. And I like I'm not too sure. Look, I like what they were trying to do with that character. I like what they, obviously he was introduced for a reason, and that reason being to, introduce kids to music. But in my opinion, I don't think the dynamic really worked, because, you have Barney, Big Dino, Baby Bop, Little Dino, and BJ, Baby Bop's older brother. And that's that kind of, that trio really kind of solidified that dynamic. By introducing Riff, it kind of in my opinion, it kind of upset the dynamic a little bit. It threw it off, because then you have, Riff, and it's kind of it's four of them, so there's more potential for the other characters to be sidelined a little bit. And I think Riff would be amazing as a standalone character. I think as a standalone, as like a companion piece, to Barney, I think he'd be an amazing standalone character. But I don't think in my opinion, he doesn't mesh well with the other dinosaurs. But that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people love Riff. I know a lot of people have sentimental value over Riff, so I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum. I think he's a great character. I just don't think he meshes well with the other dinosaurs.
Yeah. Rumors are saying that there might be a reboot of Barney and Friends, probably either this year or next year. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, this year would be perfect because of the 30th anniversary of Barney and Friends. This year would be absolutely perfect. So, but I really hope that they manage to bring a lot of the cast and crew back. I hope they bring back, in particular, Bob West as Barney, because in my opinion, I mean, I grew up with him as the voice, but but also because, in my opinion, I think he's the one that really kind of gives Barney and David Joyner as well, as the body performer. I think he really gives Barney the empathy that he needs to connect with the audience, and the kind of playful kind of energy that he projects onto Barney, I guess, really, in my opinion, made Barney, in my opinion. So I think they should bring him back at the very least. No offense to people who absolutely love Dean's Barney. I think there is a place for Dean's Barney, but in my opinion, I think they really should bring Bob back. I think there absolutely is a place for Barney in today's landscape. I absolutely think that, kids need a happy thing, a happy, imaginary friend to play with and to guide them and to help them. And they need that comfort friend. And by Barney showing up and going, "Hi, I can be your comfort friend," it's kind of like, yeah, absolutely. I reckon kids need Barney to, help them and guide them through, basic things like ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, colors, shapes, basic,
how to be a friend.
Basic stuff. Yes, they need that friend. They need that support system. And Barney is 100% that support system for them.
Love.
Yet love. Yeah. You can't forget love. That's the heart of Barney. That's the heart of Barney. That's the whole reason Barney exists.
That's why he has a song about love.
Yeah, that's why he has a song about love. Yeah.
How much did Barney impact on your life?
In the beginning, I just really liked the tapes. I just really liked the stories and, watching him and, the kid cast. But now it's funny because I had this childhood, filled with Barney up until age 6. And then I took a 20-year break. And then I came back because I'm like, oh, whoops. I made some very silly assumptions about that I shouldn't have made about Barney. But now it's just like, I've joined the Barney community. And it's just been incredible. And I think ironically, it's impacting my life now more than it did when I was a kid, because all of a sudden I'm surrounded by these really friendly people who, just want to talk about Barney. And, I've made way more friends, in this fandom than I have in any other fandom, whether it's for adults or, IPs or kids IPs. I've managed to, I guess, and also another thing is that it's such a tight-knit community. And what I really, really love about it is that people who were involved with the show interact with the fandom as well. So, people who worked on the show, like Bob West and, Jess Nelson and David Voss and Larry Baker and all those people, all those people are just not afraid to chat to the fans and have a rapport and a relationship with the fans. And I think it's wonderful being part of such a lively community like that. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, so, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
In your own words, what makes Barney so special to a child?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so the reason Barney can be so special to a child is that I think, as I said before, he's very much a mentor and a guide and a friend to kids. And I've heard so many stories about, people my age, slightly older, slightly younger, having that special connection with him, taking the Barney doll to hospitals for surgery and, learning English. And, I never really had those kinds of stories, but I really get a kick out of other people hearing about how Barney has impacted their life. And it's just incredible. The day in the park stories, and it's just been incredible hearing about them all. And I think Barney is the moment, as they say.
Yeah. If Barney was here right now, what would be the one advice you would give to a child right now?
If Barney was airing, or if Barney was physically here, or
physically here.
Okay, so I would say to the child, look, this dinosaur here is part of your imagination, and he's here to help you with whatever you need. All you need to do is think him up, and he'll help you with whatever problems you need. So if I'm not here for any reason, or if the adults in your are busy or whatever, call on Barney in your imagination, and he'll help you with whatever you need to do, whatever problems you need help with.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Where can people reach you?
Oh, so I have I've got a few pages. I have a writing page. It's full of I guess poetry that I've written. So Emilia Leonetti writer. Or you can just, friend me on Facebook, Emilia Leonetti, or I'm also over on Instagram as Emmy Veritas. And so you can go and send me a request, and if I find you're suitably Barney themed, I will accept it. No, it's all good. I don't care. If I know you're a person and not a bot, then I'll accept you. So it's all good.
Amelia, I can't thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me. It was so lovely talking to you. Thank you.
It was my pleasure. You can come in onto the show anytime you want.
Oh, beautiful. Everyone's going to get sick of hearing my voice. No, I'm joking. It's all good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Well, thank you everyone for coming to today's episode. All our episodes are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and we're on YouTube, and we're on every week. And follow our social medias on Facebook, Instagram. We're getting a Twitter soon, and lots of stuff are coming out pretty soon. Remember, if you need something special, then all you have to do is make a wish, and Barney will be there. We'll see you next time.